G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we are doing the snake room update for December 2024. Today we are starting with Rosie. Even though he's a lizard, we're still counting him part in the snake room. Now Rosie, he's my Reptile monitor. He's doing exceptionally well. Now we're coming to training that. We're still working on that. He does come up to me every time I have food, and he does approach me. However, as soon as he realizes I've got no food, that's when he kind of gets a bit more shy. And when I do touch him, he does run off. So we're still working on the handling and touching aspect, but he is getting better. He's housed in a 127 enclosure, so 4 foot. In his enclosure, got sand as the substrate, fake plants, which is destroyed. He's got this fake rock stack that he can either hide into or bask on. Right now, as he started to bask on it, there's all these branches that he can climb up on. He's got his hide over there that's got damp sand, so if he wants to cool down or have a bit of a dig, he can do so. Got his water bowl. We also got his heat and his LED UVB light bar, and he's looking at us seeing if we've got food or not, but no, he realised I got no food, so he's not going to pay any attention to me. Just above Rosie, we've got a pair of 60 centimetre enclosures, so 2 foot. In one enclosure, we've got a blonde spotted python named Caesar, and then a children python named Valentino in the other enclosure. Now, both enclosures are set up quite similar, so I'll just go through one enclosure and show the other. So both enclosures have a heat pad to the left-hand side of the enclosure. There's at least 2 to 3 hiding places for the snakes to hide into. Got a water bowl, we've got branches, fake plants in the enclosures, as well as a backing and a light strip across the enclosure. Caesar here is my male blonde spotted python. Now, he's a very shy, very, defensive snake at times, so I usually leave him be in his enclosure. And the only time I get to see him is when I do videos such as this, or when I'm feeding him, or just doing general maintenance on his house. As well, just making sure he's alive as well. But other than that, he keeps to himself. He's doing fine. While Valentino, on the other hand, just shedded his skin the other day, so he's looking very fresh. So that's his enclosure here, and Caesar's, that's the enclosure there. Sorry about the camera, guys. They decided just to start acting up on us, so bear with me. And here's little Caesar. He's getting nice and big. He'll be 3 years old next year, so time does fly. So it was the first ever baby I produced, and I'm not complaining on how he's been. He's a bit cheeky, but we love him. These 2 enclosures that we're currently looking at houses my 2 brown tree snakes, Willow and Diablo. Now both of them are set up quite identically to each other, so I'll just go through what's in each enclosure. So both enclosures have a heat pad to one end to keep them warm. They've got about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 hiding places for them in the enclosures. As for snake bedding, as their bedding, we've got the water bowl, fake plants, branches, a backing that are both incorporated a cave into for both snakes, and they share a light strip with pretty much half the reptile room. We'll start over here with Willow. Willow is more of a shy, defensive individual, so when I do disturb her or try to pick her up, she does try to bite me. And unfortunately, she's kind of hidden well where to point the camera can't focus on her. But there we are. She's just started eating again more regularly now, so I'm grateful for that. I was a bit worried she was off food and losing a bit of body condition, but now she's slowly getting it back up. Funny enough, while she's the very defensive type, her counterpart Diablo, he's a very cool, calm, collected brown tree snake. Never have a problem with him. And he's always a fun snake to actually get out and show friends and family. I can trust this snake with pretty much just about anyone, just considering how laid back and gentle he is. Forgot to do a pan shot on Willow's enclosure, and same with Diablo. So it gives you guys a better look of both enclosures. Making our way to another shelving unit over here that has 4 more enclosures. Now recently we swapped these 2 enclosures around. So I've got the central carpet pythons on the top shelf and the diamond pythons on the middle shelf. We'll go up and say hello to the 2 central carpet pythons, Chappie and Orchid. Now, both snakes have gone off food. Chappie, I'm not too sure why this time, so I'm trying to figure it out. But here he is. He's okay, he's a bit slim, but he's still healthy. It's just been, fussy, lately, so I've got to figure out what kind of food he's into now and hopefully get him eating again. His girlfriend, Orchid, she's in shed, and the reason why she's off food is because I believe she is gravid. For those who don't know what gravid means, she's pregnant with possible eggs. So later on, I'm going to put a nest box in here for her to lay her eggs in. I'll keep you guys updated when she does lay eggs. So it's a very exciting time for me, and this is, I think, the third year that I'm doing it. So fingers crossed for some more success. These two beautiful snakes are housed in a 127 enclosure, so a 4-foot enclosure. In the enclosure, with the aspen snake bedding as a substrate, water bowl, 2 large caves for them to go into, a ceramic heat emitter. We've got the branches and fake plants in there to, I guess, decorate the enclosure, as well for the snakes to perch on. And they do have a light tube on top of the enclosure to display the enclosure. Just below Chappie and Orchid, we do have another 4-foot enclosure that houses my 2 diamond pythons, Atrum and Aurelia. I just disturbed Atrum to make sure he was okay. Now, Atrum here, I was a bit worried about for the time being. He was still eating, doing just fine, but I did notice on pretty much his left-hand side of his jaw, so our right, there was a lump forming. Some kind of infection, we believe it was, but it has started to calm down and go away. I have been doing home treatments for it for the time being to see if it will help. In fact, it does help. So there you go. You'll probably just be able to notice it there on the, I guess, front part of his snout. If you can't notice it, that's great on my end as he's looking fine. Oh, there you go. You can see it there now. So it has been a bit of a worry. I am keeping an eye on it. I just believe it's a tooth infection or a bit of substrate got into the gum and it just irritated the gum. It's nothing too serious, I hope. It's pretty soft. So fingers crossed for full recovery for Atrum. His catchmate Aurelia is just doing just fine. He's actually in the back corner here. Looking beautiful, or handsome I should say. No complaints with him. Just eating food. Being a bit of a character that he is. And yeah, that's the 2 diamond pythons in the enclosure. Got the aspen bedding. We've got a water bowl. 3 caves you can go into. A backing. Branches that they can perch on, like what Atrum is displaying here. They got the heat. And we do have LED UVB light bars in here, as diamond pythons do require UVB. This beautiful pair of snakes that we're looking at here are my 2 breeding, not breeders. The 2 beautiful snakes we're looking at here are my breeding pair of children pythons, Emma and Zula. The parents of Valentino, and some exciting news is Zula here just laid a clutch of eggs on Halloween, so about a month ago she laid, and she's looking quite well. She's just had her skin too again, so she's looking very beautiful this video. Her boyfriend here, Emma, has been a bit of a menace, protecting his girl, but he realised I'm not going to hurt her, so he's left me alone. But I need to start fattening Azula up a bit. She has lost a bit of body condition. She laid a total of 14 eggs and 2 slugs, and Emma's thinking about biting me, so I might get out of this enclosure before something bad happens. Keep him happy. So these 2 snakes are housed in an 80 cm enclosure, so just shy of being 3 foot. In the enclosure, we've got a heat pad underneath the enclosure on this end of the enclosure. Substrate's the aspen bedding it again. 3 hides. I've taken the nest box out because Azula didn't even use it. We've got the fake plants, backing, light strip up here, and a water bowl in the corner here. And while we're down on the floor level, we might go over to my 2 oldest snakes in the family, Superstar and Graham. My 2 female blind spotted pythons. Now Graham's in the back corner over here. Let's see if we can get the camera up through. There she is. She's eating once more, doing exceptionally well. She's coming out to the front of the enclosure every once in a while, say hello to me when I'm in the room. And her cage mate, Superstar, she just turned 15. She just turned 15 on the 16th of November. So she's getting an old girl. She's my first ever snake. So 15 years in March is when I've had her. So we've been together for a long, long time. And hopefully it's still got a long time to go. Hey, sweetheart. Now, Superstar was off food during the winter period. But now she's back on food again and eating like a champ. So both girls in here are back to normal, which I'm happy about. They're both in a 90 cm enclosure. So it's a 3 foot enclosure. In the enclosure, got the substrate, got the water bowl, the branch that they sometimes use. Got a fake plant, 3 hides in here to choose from. Funny enough, for the first time in a long time, they're out of this hide here. Graham's behind it, Superstar's in that hide, so it's kind of weird, I guess, doing this. Got their backing, heat, and just a normal light bulb in here to display the enclosure. But overall, these 2 girls are doing very, very well. On to our last set of children pythons in the reptile room, or snake room I should say. We've got Aaron and Snickers. Now, these are both females, so nothing will happen out of these 2. So I'm grateful with no more eggs. Now, in this enclosure they're in, they're actually housed in a 1 meter enclosure, so just over 3 foot. In the enclosure, we've got the substrate, 2 proper hides, a rock stack, fake plants that are kind of destroyed. Got the ceramic, a light strip on top of the enclosure, and I still need to get a nice backing to set this enclosure off, as having, I guess, a white wall behind it's kind of annoying to look at for me. We've got a water dish as well. Let's say good day to him. So here we have Snickers. Snickers is a very adventurous little snake. She's also in shed. So it's funny how a lot of my snakes in this video are in shed. Snickers is an adventurous type. She likes to come out, cause a bit of trouble, like she's doing now. Since I disturbed her. Come on, girl. Get rid of your tail. And she's going to go into the rock stack. So usually with Snickers here, she likes to have to be in this hide here or in the rock stack. Nowhere else really. Unless I fed her, she would just go to the closest place to hide, which is usually in this hide right in front of me. But this is Aaron's favourite place to hide, so here she is. Not that good of a look since the hide is wedged underneath the rock stack. Aaron's doing quite well. She's a very quiet snake, not very adventurous compared to her cage mate. She just stands in a one hide and does nothing for the most part. But still a beautiful girl. Both girls in here are very laid back and very chill. So, nothing crazy with them two. Aaron and Snickers' neighbour here is Charles, who's my albino Darwin carpet python. She's housed in another 90 cm enclosure or 3 foot enclosure. So in the enclosure, I've got the bedding, 2 hides, a fake plant, there's a vine, water bowl, backing, heat, and a light strip that she's pulled down yet again. Here she is, looking at us in an evil way. She's doing just fine, just eating food. Will strike at me when she's annoyed. But when I do get her out, she's fine. So, bit of a funny snake, but hey, we have to have characters in this room. And no harm having additional, I guess, personalities, which is great. It keeps me on my toes. It makes things very interesting. The last 2 enclosures that we are going to cover off are both 6 foot enclosures, so 180 centimeters. So keep that in mind. We start up here with Chris, who is my black-headed python. Now, Chris here is probably pushing 8 foot in length. Even though she's a big girl, she's a beautiful girl. Most of the time she's friendly, very laid back, and is never a problem until you're feeding her. Not too long ago, Chris here did bite me on my foot. Long story short, she burst out of a feeding tub and got me on my heel. I'll be honest, guys, that's a very painful spot to get bitten by. For those who've been bitten by a snake on the foot, or by anything really, you'll know what I'm talking about. So definitely a place I don't want to get bitten by again. But other than that, when she's not in food mode, she's still a very beautiful snake, very puppy dog-like, and doesn't cause me much trouble. She might get into stuff that she shouldn't do, but hey, that's snakes for you. But Chrissy's house, like I said, in a 6 foot enclosure, in her enclosure, that's been bedding to substrate. 2 monster hides for her to hide into. We do have a water bowl. We've got a fake plant, a branch she was using a moment ago. Got a backing that sets off the cage quite beautifully. A light, and we do have a heat over there to one side, and she's planning on escaping. Come on, girl, backing you get. You're a good girl. The last animal we've got to do in this reptile room update, for the snake room at least, is Ray. Now, Ray, he's my Rosenberg monitor. He is a bit of a character in this household. He's a bit of a troublemaker. Now, with handling, he's getting much better with getting picked up. Beforehand, he was huff and puff, claw the living daylights out of me. But now it's getting to the point now where I can just pick him up, and he was just, all he does is hiss at me. If I get him on a bad day, he might try to bite me or pretend to go for me. But I don't think he'll do anything on purpose unless I really upset him. Other than that, he's doing fine, smashing food. He's been a bit of a chubby goanna, so I might have to put him on a bit of a diet, I'm not going to lie. But other than that, he's fine. In his enclosure, we've got his hide that he's kind of sitting by, his rocks that he can sit on for additional heat if he wants to. I think right now he's just sitting on the substrate something softer while he's underneath the heat there. He's got his fake plants, his backing, got his hammock, his water bowls over here, and he's got his LED UV light bars for UV in there as well. We are planning on doing an outdoor enclosure for this guy, as he is getting quite large. I'm probably going to do something at least double the size of what he's in now, so he's got more room to run around. But I'm going to do it outside because there's no more room in this room, so that's the plan. But is it going to happen? I'm hoping so. But anyway, guys, we'll wrap up the video here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a happy happy holidays, Merry Christmas, however you celebrate the season. Everyone stays safe. I'll catch you all in the next video.